HDIGH. Huh?
Hello, guys. What's up? It's me again. I don't know if I should apologize for that, but it's your girl, Alexa. Woo! Pew, 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 pew. Everyone noises. Thank you. Thank you, my lovely audience of two. Yes, hello, and welcome back to How Did I Get Here, where we live our best lives on the internet and come out on the other side knowing more, but not feeling all that much smarter. I am your host, and you are welcome for that. Yes. So if you're wondering why I am still here at HDIGH Studios, there's a good reason for that. Currently, our buddy Jay, he's, taking a bit of a break, recharging his batteries, trying to get back at, peak health. Needs to be over 9,000. So in the meantime, I'm here, so please look after me. It's just me, your girl Alexa, simple as that. But we're cheering for you, Jay. Miss you, dude. Get better soon. Let's see. Yes, also, you might be noticing from the last time I was here, if you did or did not tune in, we have a bit of a different setting going on today, ladies and gents and those in between. We are on a couch. Not a desk. This is a couch because I know my furniture. As you can tell, it's a little blank. Things are a little different. And that's because Dive Studios is moving on to bigger and better things. That's right. You heard it here first, folks. Maybe I'm not the first person, but we're gonna get a whole bigger building for bigger and better, more content. That was not a coherent sentence, but you get the gist. But yeah, we're gonna jazz things up, spice things up, and move around. So that is why we are like this today. So yeah, get excited. Get excited. Are you excited? I need to hear you screaming through the phone or computer or wherever you're listening or watching this. Yes. Make some noise. Thank you. Yes, do not forget to subscribe to our lovely podcast and leave a review, which is available on multiple platforms. And I am guilty. I just got the podcast app yesterday on my phone. So now I'm able to listen to it. Don't forget to check out full video episodes actually on YouTube, which is just youtube.com/divepods, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Yes. So we're going to be jumping into today's question of the day. I'm going to learn how to use this eventually. Yes, today is, what are the big 5 personality traits? And this is going to be interesting because I personally love studying humans and human behavior. So big 5 personality traits, which I'm looking at this and it seems to be trait 1 is openness, 2 is conscientiousness, 3, yes. 3 is extroversion, 4 is agreeableness, and 5 is neuroticism. Oh, this is gonna be fancy schmancy. Okay, let's get into this. Yes. Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's see. The difference between people's personalities can be broken down into terms of 5 major traits, often called the Big 5. Each one reflects a key part of how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. Like I just mentioned, but I will say again, the major 5 traits are openness to experience, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. And those have little sub-explanations. So openness, it includes aspects such as intellectual curiosity and creative imagination. Okay, what's good? Conscientiousness includes organization, productiveness, and responsibility. Extroversion is, of course, sociability, assertiveness, and yes, its opposite is introversion, as we all know. We love a good Myers-Briggs test, yes. Agreeableness, compassion, respectfulness, trust in others, and neuroticism is tendencies towards anxiety and depression. Depression. Spicy flavor right there. Individual personalities are thought to feature each of these 5 broad traits to some degree. When the traits are measured, some people rate higher and others rate lower. Some can be more conscientious and less agreeable than most people, for instance. While scoring about average on the other traits, these traits remain fairly stable during adulthood. I would agree. I forgot who I was talking to about this the other day, but we were talking about how we looked back on videos of ourselves as kids, or you recount certain memories you had in school or everything, and it's what happened to the child I was? What happened to that personality, that energy, that sunshine? I mean, not to say that all of us, when we reach adulthood, but, you do change when you're a child, when you become more, I mean, conscientiousness, I'd say that's a big one, especially when you mature over time, because your like skills for organization get better, your productivity gets better. Responsibility is something you need to have as an adult. If you have no sense for that, then how are you adulting in our modern world of 2020? I do not know. But yeah, in regards to me as a child, I mean, my parents do love to send me pictures and videos occasionally of me when I was, I don't know how old, a wee lad, yes, but what stage of wee lad, I cannot recall. But, and then I recount things from childhood because I'll be talking to like some of my old school friends and they'll be like, oh, do you remember that time in class when this happened? And then it got me thinking that like, how would I react to situations now versus how I reacted then? Like, what would I say? What would I do? Because it's like back then, I mean, I feel like anybody in their adult life can say this, but for me, I feel like life was so much simpler when I was younger. There wasn't all this complicatedness. I don't think that's a word, but whatever. Complicatedness, what's the word I'm looking for? Complexity. Complexity. Complexity to my life that there is now versus then. Like, I think it was like, even looking at old videos from 4 years ago, around 4 years ago with my old friends, and it's just like, wow, things were just different. I feel like I had I don't know, I hate to say it, but I feel like I had a slightly more positive mindset back then. I mean, not to say like, oh, I'm such a pessimist now, but like, optimism withers and fades over time. Not to say you can't boost it back up, but I feel like I've slowly become a little bit more negative, and I do not like that about me, ladies and gents. How about you? Are you more of like a pessimist or an optimist? And like, did that change over time for you? Like when you were younger, were you like, yeah, sunshine and rainbows? And now you're like, oh, dark and brooding. Like, how you doing? How you doing? Has anybody asked you that today? How you doing? Tell us in the comments below. But yeah, skipping back over to this over hither. Let's see. Okay. How were the traits measured? I am curious about that. Let's see. So one test is the latest version of the Big Five inventory, and it asks how much a person agrees or disagrees is someone who exemplifies various specific statements, such as, you may be curious about many different things. And this is, of course, for openness and open-mindedness. Are you someone that's systematic? You like to keep things in order. Are you someone that's outgoing or sociable? Are you compassionate and have a soft heart? Just soft and squishy little marshmallow heart. Or are you moody? You have your ups and downs and mood swings. I feel like a lot of us relate to that one right there. I mean, if you cannot tell, I am very dark and brooding. But, yeah, no, I feel like this kind of, I feel like nowadays, for some reason, the Myers-Briggs test is becoming a trend again. I feel like when I was in high school, maybe when I started college, everyone was like, oh, what's your personality type? But now it's circulating again. So kind of this stuff dealing with personality has always been really interesting to me, because the fact is I know I've changed. Because when I took the Myers-Briggs test back in high school, I was like, 85% extrovert? I've been ENFPT my whole life, but I took it like a few months ago, and now I'm like 55% extrovert. I'm slowly reaching the introvert line. So I'm like, oh, what has she gone through? What's going on? Is she okay? But yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so let me hop on to the next thing. I'm really curious to read about the extroversion here, though, because I feel like that is applicable for myself. Let's see. It just gives the definition here. So extroversion is a personality trait typically characterized by outgoingness, high energy, and or talkativeness. In general, the term refers to a state of being where someone recharges or draws energy from being with other people. The opposite, drawing energy from being alone, is known as introversion, of course. And again, back to that, I feel like those of you that might just only know me via online, you might think I'm an extrovert. Oh, extrovert, yes, which I am to some extent. I feel like whether you're an introvert or an extrovert exclusively, I feel like there's always like some extent of that. It's like, yeah, I'm an extrovert in these situations, but in these situations, I'm more introverted. But then again, that just could be anxiety talking. I don't know. But let's see, signs of extroversion. Let's see. Extroversion was first proposed by a noted psychiatrist, Carl Jung. Oh, maybe Korean? Jung. Oh, German then, maybe.
He's a white guy.
Oh, he's a white guy. Okay. Carl Jung. I forgot the J's or Y's in some languages, but been in Korea too long. In the 1920s. Okay, so Mr. Carl Jung from the 1920s. We do love that era with the Great Depression. And extroverts are thought to make up anywhere from half to 3/4 of the American population. Okay, specifically the American population, I could see that. That's interesting. So about 50 to 75% of people are extroverts here. Interesting. Let's see. Oh, wait. Someone who is highly extroverted will likely feel bored or even anxious when they're made to spend too much time alone. Incredible. That I'm a high-functioning extrovert. Okay, that explains so much. Everything, the pieces just fell together. Wow. I'm learning something about myself, and you are here with me. Thank you for sharing my journey with me. Let's see. Though many psychologists argue that extroversion and introversion exist on a sliding scale, Myers-Briggs test, and that very few people are pure extroverts. Let's see. Someone's degree of extroversion is a core factor of their personality and is generally difficult, though not impossible, to modify, which also explains why I'm slowly sliding towards the introversion scale. Huh. That is honestly interesting. I did not know that being a super extrovert means you are prone to have introvert behavior at times. Interesting. Interessante. Let's read about neuroticism because that's fun and relevant. That's fun and fresh. That's what the kids do nowadays, yeah? Let's see, neuroticism, one of the big 5 personality traits, is typically defined as a tendency toward anxiety, depression, self-doubt, and other negative feelings. All personality traits, including neuroticism, exist on a spectrum. Some people are just more neurotic than others. In the context of the Big 5, neuroticism is sometimes described as low emotional stability or negative emotionality. Some self-deprecating comedians, so many of those, love them, and complainers wear their neuroticism as a badge of honor, but in truth, people with neurotic dispositions are more prone to anxiety, mood disorders, and additional unfavorable social and emotional outcomes. I feel like nowadays, there's so many memes on the internet. I hate saying the word meme because that's what it is, but I feel so cringy saying it though. But there's so many memes on the internet of Gen Z and millennial humor. And it's everything is just so self-deprecating nowadays. There was one I saw. It was something Gen Zs will do all this incredible stuff, but then they'll be like, haha, can I get insurance if someone hits me with a car, that kind of stuff. So I'm like, wow, that is today's sense of humor, I feel like. So let's see. A person's level of neuroticism can be assessed by personality tests that ask individuals to rate the extent to which they 1. Worry about things, 2. Are easily disturbed, 3. Have frequent mood swings, 4. Get irritated easily, or 5. Often feel blue, along with other similar self-descriptions with higher ratings indicating a higher level of neuroticism. Interesting. Let's see. On scale, the most recent version of the Big 5 inventory separates neuroticism, relabeled as negative emotionality, into 3 facets that each reflect a tendency to feel certain ways. 1 is anxiety, 2 is depression, and 3 is emotional volatility. Interesting. I've never heard that third category before. Interesting. No, because I saw the comments and the other ones are people being like, oh my gosh, you're so interesting. And then people comment under that saying, haha, I can hear Jay saying interesting. And they're his catchphrase. Is that your catchphrase, my dude? Just interesting. Interesting. Whoa. Oh my God, interesting. I need to figure out what my word is here, but yeah, I love that's another one. Oh God, let's see. I feel like people might have this question. Is neuroticism a bad thing? High neuroticism ratings are associated with the risk of mental illness and worse outcomes on average on measures of health and relationship satisfaction. However, it can be argued that neuroticism exists because it provided advantages, such as sensitivity to threats, over the course of humanity's evolution, which I could agree to that. I feel like humans, we evolved because I feel like back in the caveman days, we don't know danger, but as we evolve, it's kind of you kind of get that heightened sense of Yeah, anxiety, for lack of a better word. And I feel like some people just have that heightened sensitivity, but meh, interesting. Interesting. Oh, I can't say interesting. That's Jay's word. I need to figure out something for me. Copyright. Jay of Day 6. Let's see. What else? I don't know. I mean, the other day, well, not the other day. I will always say the other day when it was like 3 months ago. But the other day, I was hanging out with some of my friends and we were all talking about our personality types. And I realized in my circle of immediate friends I have here, I am the only extrovert, which is really interesting because I don't remember what it was. I think it's like ENTJ or something like that. But two of my friends have the exact same personality type. But like the thing is with them, I thought they were extroverts at first, or INTJ. Yeah. INTJ. I thought they were extroverts when I first met them, but apparently they're labeled as introverts on the Myers-Briggs scale. And then I think three of my friends have the same introvert one, which is the opposite of mine. I'm ENFPT, they're INFPT, which explains why we all get along. But yeah, it just kind of shocked me that I was the only extrovert in my friend group because I did not assume I would be. But I feel like that also makes sense because in my friend groups, I'm typically the mom friend. I'm typically the one that's like, okay, little babies, how are we doing today? So, I mean, maybe not the same here. To some extent, I'm still the mom friend. But for my friends back home, if you're watching this, you know who you are. I feel like I was one of the parent friends back home. So I feel like being the only extrovert in a group of people kind of puts that subconsciously on that person, like they're going to be the caregiver in a sense. Huh. What personality type are y'all? I know we're talking about the big five here, but like, what's your Myers-Briggs? Do y'all know your Myers-Briggs? And do you agree with it? Do you agree with it? Because when I saw my recent evaluation, is that the word? I was kind of like, that don't seem right. That don't seem right because I know I'm an extrovert. So I'm like, why are we all the way down to 55 when we were at 85? I don't know. And then if I'm correct, the T in ENFP stands for turbulent. Means I forgot what the exact definition regarding the personality type means, but yeah, and I was like, well, that's the only thing I agree with. So there's that. But yeah, interesting. Jay's word. I'll say it in Spanish. Interesante. There we go. I'll keep it in Spanish because let's not forget, Jay's from Argentina, but he didn't speak Spanish, so I'll take that one. We're gonna look at some questions real quick that y'all have submitted. Starting with, I believe, user NCT Boo. It means NCT, but like spelled T with the boo. So NCT Boo on Twitter. They ask, what was the last movie you watched? Oh, that's a good question, actually. Nowadays, I really do not watch many movies, but I started watching it, but I was like, I think I'm gonna fall asleep. Not because the movie was boring. I was just tired. So I paused it. But I started watching that one on Netflix. It's called Lovebirds. It's a romantic comedy. Someone I know recommended it. So I was like, okay, I'm not really a rom-com person, honestly. I'm really not a rom-com person. But it's like, all right, I trust your suggestion. So I started Lovebirds. I will finish that tonight, maybe. We'll see. But Lovebirds. Let's search that real quick. Let's search that because while I'm typing, in case you guys are wondering, the plot of Lovebirds, I'm finding that right now because I started and I got like 12 minutes in before I paused it and went to sleep. Let's see. On the brink of breaking up, a couple gets unintentionally embroiled in a bizarre murder mystery. Ooh. As they get closer to clearing their names and solving the case, they need to figure out how they and their relationship can survive the night. Incredible. Okay, so it's like a murder. Okay, yeah, no, they did. My friend did mention, like, it's a little violent, but it's still a rom-com, so that's why I watched it, right? Because I love violent movies, so yeah. So that's what the plot of Lovebirds is. Interesting. Okay, so murder mystery, a couple on the brink of breaking up, which none of us ever like breakups, right? But murder. A great rom-com. Great rom-com. All right. And then moving on to @_ForeverYoungK on Twitter. Do you believe in horoscopes? I do. I do. I do. Like, y'all have that app. What's it called? Yes, CoStar. I have CoStar, but I'm not going to give y'all my username because it's just for me. But I do have CoStar. I don't check it regularly because sometimes my horoscopes would be something I just don't want to hear, and I'm not in the mood to hear that today because it's like, you might have a hard time today, da 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 da, and I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Thank you. I'm good. So horoscopes, they correspond with your astrological sign. And when I say that, you might be thinking zodiac, like Chinese zodiac, like the animals. No, but yes, because there are horoscopes for that as well. But the one I'm talking about corresponds with your astrological sign. So I was born on December 9th, so that makes me a Sagittarius. I believe there's like a month span between each sign, but it's not the beginning of the month to the end. It's kind of middle of the month to the middle of the next one. That's when the chunks of the astrology signs are divided up. Yes. And so your horoscope corresponds to that. So like if you open like any magazine or just search up what's today's horoscope for a Sagittarius or for a Pisces or for a Gemini, because we're in Gemini season right now if I'm correct. But yeah. So horoscope basically be like, oh, this is what you can look forward to in your day. Or if you want to do a broad spectrum, sometimes it'll be the month of July for Sagittarius. And there could be subcategories like in success, in health, in romance, and everything like that. Some people don't believe in it. Some people do. I do. Not 100%, but like whenever it benefits me, I like to believe in it. So, I mean, Sagittarius. What tends to be the stereotype about Sagittarius? Sagittarius is typically they're rather outgoing. They are a fire sign, so that kind of makes for the fiery personalities they have. They are typically a creative type. And what's something else I typically read about Sagittarius? They long for freedom. People typically categorize Sagittarius as world travelers, and I'm like, it do be like that sometimes. But yeah, I mean, those are typically the things that are most stereotyped for Sagittariuses. So, like outgoing, and I said something else in my brain. But, like creative types and world travelers, freedom lovers. So,
what are your thoughts on the fact that Jae is a Virgo?
You know what? Here's the thing. One of my closest friends in school growing up was a Virgo, and we got along really well. Like we had like little casual friend fights here and there. I mean, every like best friend pair does. But like, I don't know. I respect Virgos. Virgos be chill. And I think Jae is literally the chillest human being I know. If chill had legs that were 8 feet long, that's Jae. So, no, Virgos, respect. Yeah, because my mom is a Pisces, my dad is a Libra, and my brother is a Gemini. So, I wound up as a Sagittarius. But, yeah. So, respect to Virgos. So, just a little catch up with me. Just me. And you, just share this moment with me again. Like I said earlier, before the song break, I did cover Taemin's Drip Drop recently. Other than that, I've got a pre-release single we got coming out in July, which may or may not be out by now. Is that safe to say? Okay, so yeah, it may or may not be out by now, so I'm not going to give you the title yet, but it's coming. Am I allowed to talk about plans for August? Sure. Okay. So not only, but wait, there's more. It's me, Billy Mays. So we have this pre-release single coming out in July, which if you guys are familiar with me from debut, you guys will remember I did like that rock version of Bomb, which was like a little glitch in the series of my little Bomb trilogy. Well, this pre-release single is going to be another little glitch in the matrix, if you will. So it's not like a comeback necessarily, but it's a pre-release single. There's gonna be a music video for it. Don't worry. But music video, comeback, August. And that's all I'm saying. But yeah, other than that, we got contents coming out. If you guys have been keeping up with Trip Trap on the YouTubes, we're trying to keep stuff going on Twitter, Insta, all those SNS platforms. But yeah, keeping up. Okay, unfortunately, it is time for this episode to end, ladies and gents and those in between. But do not forget to send us your questions at hashtag HDIGH and let us know what should be our next big question to search. And also, don't forget our IG and Twitter is at The Dive Studios, but the YouTube is just youtube.com/Dive Studios. But if you want to check out the full episodes, yes, full length episodes, that is youtube.com/Dive Pods. PODS, pods, as in the tide. Yes, so youtube.com/dive pods. Don't forget to subscribe, of course. Leave a review. Don't forget to do that because it's important. It lets us know how we're doing. We appreciate the feedback, so thank you for that. And thank you so much for listening, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. Have an interesting day. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy that content? If you did, there is more. Please download the full podcast on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Dive Studios. Don't forget to turn notifications on to hear and see all your favorite clips as fast as possible.